Yes.
Yes.
So, hello Vijay. We are live on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn. We'll wait for a couple of minutes for people to join in, and that's when we will start.
Absolutely. So they will show up on that the message from the audience.
Yes.
We will
If they
know
like
that they are there.
something, yes.
Okay. Wonderful. So this is something. It's a first for me, at my age. Like it's really breaking a boundary. Thanks
Wow.
to you,
That's
because
why the community is there for to uplift each
yes,
other.
because the I had wanted to go earlier on LinkedIn, but I heard about something about Restream. I said, do I have to buy a Restream? How do I get onto it? And that was something that was pretty unnerving. I said, नहीं अभी छोड़ो अगर होना है हो जाएगा. I
Right.
believe in that.
Yeah.
Everything happens in divine timing,
Yep.
keeping in mind what is the best for us. I believe in that.
Yes. So, hello everyone who all have joined so far. I cannot see the participants so far. Maybe I need to refer to LinkedIn, but that is okay till the time we are here. So, this is a comeback for me after a couple of months, you can say 5 months. And today we gonna be talking about a very interesting topic that is not for you to get help and do something. This is important to us, which is nourish to flourish, because this is the time for us to take a pause. This is really important. Everyone is asking you to do something and not to do something, but here we are asking you to take a pause. So this is all about nourish to flourish. And definitely, you if you have connected on LinkedIn, on Restream, so you know who am I. Just a bit about myself. My name is Jyoti Pandey. By education, I'm a lawyer. I practiced for 5 years in Calcutta High Court. I relocated to Mumbai. 15 years of my life, I have been serving US MNCs entire night shift. Now in 2022, I got this strike that I have to get out of this rat race and do something for my life. That's where I did a lot of coaching with top notch coaches. And that's where I met the queen, Vajanti Bose. She is someone who is senior to us, a great mentor, a great member, a great coach. So I would like Vajanti to give a brief introduction about yourself to people.
So hi folks. I'm Vajanti Bose from Kolkata, India. And people in my close circle, Rotarians, coaches, they call me Viji. So I've been a teacher for more than 4 decades, 36 in one of the top schools of Kolkata, belonging to the Ashok Hall Group of Schools, GD Birla Center for Education. And I have my students all over the world in academia as well as in the corporate world, right at the top of the ladder. Now, I was handling adolescents for the larger part of my life, and I was counseling students and their parents without really knowing what counseling about. But being a mother, counseling comes naturally to us, especially when you brought up an adolescent daughter yourself. But then at 70, I thought that I want to share my experiential learning, my wisdom with a larger audience. So I started looking for various platforms, and of course, 2020 COVID happened and life was disrupted, and we all went online. So it was online where I found a reservoir of people who would be willing to be served, who wanted to be served, who had problems with needs, with fears, with doubts, with frustrations. And that is where I felt I will be able to step in and hold their hand. Of course, I realized that I needed to have specialized training. So I was coached by some of the biggest names in the industry, right? Of course, they were online trainings, but we did meet um, in various live sessions also. So Ajit Navalka of EverCoach, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Project Next, John Asarif, and of course, my all-time mentor, Arfin Khan, with whom we have trained and been certified, and we are still in his fraternity of nearly 4,000 coaches all over the world. And that is how I met Jyoti Pandey, and we are here to maybe help you push the envelope by learning how to communicate from within. See, for the last 4 years on an online portal, I have been teaching communication skills along with public speaking, right from teenagers to mid level professionals and businessmen, even in their 50s. Because communication today, my friends, is one of the most important skills, be it personal relationships or be it professional relationships. But I always begin with one line, and that is success is 80% mindset and 20% skill set. And that is where Jyoti, me, and plethora of coaches step in. Because I never had this opportunity. When I was growing up, I never knew anything about mindset. And there was a time, my friends, when I was offered the plum position of being the principal of my school, and I
Mm-hmm.
turned it down. Can you imagine? Because I felt I was not enough. I felt I didn't have the skills. I felt I
Not
didn't have
ready.
the ability. I didn't have the inner confidence that I needed. But today, that is what I am here for, to give you that inner confidence so that you do not look a gift horse in the mouth, that you embrace every opportunity and every possibility that comes
Mm-hmm.
your way by
Yes.
nourishing yourself from within.
Yes. So, Vijay, when we talk about, so I will be calling you Vijay because I know you since years. Now, Vijay, when we talk about people only understand nourishing the body. So, I heard we have been working a lot on this particular subject. I would like you to elaborate on what all comes in, what all we can nourish. Give the bifurcation.
Right. I heard this very beautiful saying in Sanskrit. Okay, this was by Brahma Kumari Shivani. Jaise anna, vaise man. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not only what we eat and drink, but what we consume. Now, what do we consume? We consume
Social
through
media.
our senses, right? What we watch,
Yes.
what we read, and what we hear. And they leave a very powerful impact on our mind, which we are not aware of, because a lot of information is getting stacked in our subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And we refer to those files when we face a situation. So we'll talk about that. So today we're going to speak about nourishing yourself in body, mind, and spirit.
Correct.
Health. We start today with health, right? Now, when we
Mm-hmm.
speak of health, what comes to your mind, my friends, is usually your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go
Mm-hmm.
to the gym, you run around, you do exercises, you do yoga. Everything is to do with the body. And yes, there is definitely a connection with the mind.
Mind. Mm-hmm.
But we are going to take up mental health, we are going to take up emotional health, we're going to take up spiritual health and also financial health. Because these together with your physical health give you a sense of being enough and more than enough. So, what does everyone want to be? We want to be rich, we want to be happy, and we want to lead fulfilled lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's start our conversation around Nourish to Flourish.
Yes. Yep. Hi Akash, thanks for joining live. And this is important to all the people. So very important, Vijay. When we talk about our mental health, we talk about our emotional health, we talk about our financial health. So mental health, a lot of people are getting restricted by their own self belief or by their own thoughts that what if I take a jump, what if this happens, what if that happens. So fear of unknown or fear of uncertainty is something that they are not able to take that step forward, and that is the biggest hindrance in today's. I will talk about corporate. So we talk about the corporate world. So today I had a conversation with a person who was associated with this particular organization from 20 plus years, and 14 plus years he did not get any no growth, no learning opportunity, and what he is getting is just the peanuts, 8%, 10%. So the maximum is 10%, but only because we are getting a handsome lollipop at the end of the month, and because of that lollipop we are getting stuck in our own comfort zone. Now I would like to emphasize on this particular aspect. How can they break free from their own emotions, their own mindset, that yes, you have to take that leap of faith, and universe is with you. Forget about the family, friends, colleagues. Universe is guiding you. Vijay, over to you.
I'll share a story. It's very personal. And
Mm-hmm.
I've written about that both in my book, Pivot in Confidence, Live Carefree, on Amazon. And I spoke about it also in my Pichakucha speech. Leap of faith.
Yep.
It's all about having faith in yourself and the universe.
Yes.
I believe that everything happens in divine timing for our good.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to embrace that opportunity. So I'll tell you about my father. Many of you know about that story, but I'd like to share it with the others. I was about 8, 9 years of age when my father, who had spent uh, the early part of his professional life in the Indian Army, serving in places like Korea at the end of the Korean War as part of the UN repatriation force in Hyderabad during the police action, he got an opportunity to pivot, to
Mm-hmm.
leave the army and join a new civil service being created by the government of India for Northeast India alone.
Mm-hmm.
Nagaland and NIFA, Northeast Frontier Agency, which today, of course, is the beautiful state of Arunachal Pradesh. Mind you, my father knew nothing about that area, nil.
Mm-hmm.
But he took that leap of faith. He read books on NIFA and Nagaland, which a cousin of mine procured from his library at the Delhi School of Economics. He went for the interview, qualified, went to Missouri, was trained, and his first posting was assistant political officer in Pasighat in NIFA, which is Arunachal Pradesh. Now, my friends, had he taken that leap of faith, he would not have been able to move
Correct.
the ladder in the army because he was like our friend Jyoti over here. He was a BA LLB. He was a lawyer, a trained
Mm-hmm.
lawyer. And that's the time when the Second World War broke out. And he came across this ad, Your country needs you. And being a young man, he felt that, I need to give my service. And that's how
Urge. Yes.
he joined the Assam Regiment, which was a newly created regiment to fight against the Japanese in Burma. Now, when NDA was established, naturally the young guys who were passing out, they had a better future. And the government of India offered this beautiful opportunity to people in the defense services. And a lot of people from the Army and the Air Force
Mm-hmm.
joined the IFAS, the Indian Frontier Administrative Service, at
Wow.
par with the IAS, Indian Administrative Service. So it was a plum, the highest
Mm-hmm.
you could get here. And over time, he climbed up and up and up, and he retired as the special secretary to the governor of Tripura.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Had he not taken that leap of faith, my friends, do you think he would have been able to make that kind of life for himself and for us? Because
For
I
us
was
as
put into a hostel, I was put into a beautiful place in Shillong, from the heat and dust of Delhi to the pine clad hills of Shillong and Loreto Convent, Shillong. We were groomed and taught by Irish nuns. So,
well.
whoever I am today, my friends, is a product of that environment. And that
Mm-hmm.
became possible because of that decision my father could take, or did take
Yep.
to move ahead, irrespective of fears, doubts, hesitation in his mind. He just believed that this was what the universe wanted him to do.
Yes, that's a beautiful story. That's a beautiful, for people to understand, if your father or our parents can do at that point in time. Now the world has changed dramatically, and definitely we have more options, we have more ways to find what we want to do. So exactly the same thing, Vijay, as you highlighted. When I was in law, I practiced for 5 years in Calcutta High Court, and at that point in time, because of some family emergency, I had to shift to Mumbai. At that point in time, also, I started with law. Not that I did not start, I started with law. 3 months, I was doing everything. But then I understood there is something else that I can do, right? And that is the time when I moved to corporates. When my struggle was, I belong to a law background, and every corporate that I used to approach, everyone was telling me, but you do not have any experience in finance, you do not have any experience in mortgage. And that is when your self value, your self worth comes into picture, when you get the audacity or you get the guts to say, I have been talking in the highest forum in the state, West Bengal highest forum, Calcutta High Court, I have been talking to. And then you're talking to me that I do not have experience. What the hell do you mean by experience? And that's how you put across your point with confidence. And that's where I got selected in mortgage. After that, I moved to hospitality. There also the same picture. You do not have an experience with this industry. And that's where your confidence on yourself comes. So I would like to highlight here is, everyone, each one of us, we have not learned anything when we were in mother's womb, right? We came to this world, and that's how the learning starts. So none of us are perfect, none of us are awesome. We are product in progress, we are work in progress. So every day is learning opportunity. Whenever we take coaching clients on calls, every day, day to day, every session we learn some bit of ourselves which were still untapped. So every day is a learning phase. So do not restrict yourself by saying, I do not have this experience. Because Vijay, this is very much highlighted in our coaching calls, when people say, I have been a Java developer, I have been a software programmer, I have been this, I have been that. Industry is not ready to take me. And the point here is, how many times did you create your mindset and you were ready in your thoughts that you want to go? So the first thing that you need to do is stop. Introspection is something that you need at this point in time. Do you actually need this? And if you need this, why do you need this? So in management, we do this beautiful exercise which is called 5 why question answer. We
Yes.
ask ourselves, why do we need this? If we need this, that is the answer. Make it a question, why do we do this, right?
Yes. Why?
So Vijay, if you would like to elaborate on this in your beautiful language, public and people can get benefited out of it.
Yes. So again, I go back to Tony Robbins. He says, he speaks about this as the 7 levels deep. Okay.
Yes.
So it's why. And why, as Simon Sinek says, has to be right on the top. My purpose. I have to find my purpose.
Start
And
with
once
why.
I know my purpose, I know my why, the how and the what becomes very easy.
Appears magically.
It
Your how
appears
appears
magically.
magically. Yes.
Yes. So that's how my coaching journey began. So I've been a teacher
Yes.
in a closed room, right?
Mhm.
Like other teachers all over the country. But then when I decided to reinvent myself so that I become a coach in my second innings at
Yes. Yes.
70, because I was not willing to hang up my boots just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I had to listen to podcasts.
Yes.
I, I had to listen to TED Talks. I never heard what TED Talks are all about.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, what you consume is very important because
Yes.
that shapes your mind. I'd like to share a few things with you today, which I learned from John Asaraf.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he says that just as we do exercises to build your muscles, your physical muscles, we need to do, and he has got his trademark on this, and I listen to him every day. We need to do inner sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are inner sizes? Inner sizes are exercises of our neuromuscles so that we
Wow.
learn how to focus, we learn how to be disciplined, We learn how to live with intention,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the techniques, of course, are there. They have been there. These are NLP techniques. These are all
Yes.
the neuro linguistic programming techniques. So it's all about changing the language that we have been speaking to ourselves. What is our inner dialogue? I am
Mm-hmm.
not enough. I'm not capable. I'm not smart. I'm not beautiful. I'm
Mm-hmm.
too thin. I'm too fat. I'm too fair. I'm too dark. I'm too tall. I'm too short. I mean, all kinds of, things which negate us in our own mind. And
Mm-hmm.
what happens is that it lowers our self esteem, it lowers our self worth. So, how are
Yes.
people going to appreciate us if we don't appreciate ourselves? And I learned this truth pretty late in life, only when I started my coaching journey. I've been brought up in a missionary environment,
Mm-hmm.
where I first learned the Bible, then I learned my Hindu Shastras. And there's this very beautiful line that Jesus said is that love thy neighbor as thyself.
Mm-hmm.
Focus was always on the neighbor, people
Yes.
around me, my family, my near and dear ones, my friends. But the day I realized what was the true import of that message, love thyself first, love
Mm-hmm.
thy neighbor as thyself. Am I loving myself? Do I
Mm-hmm.
have compassion for myself? Do I forgive my mistakes?
Mm-hmm.
Do I rise above my shame and my guilt? That is
Mm-hmm.
self love. And when I began to practice that and understand that, my entire message to myself changed. Yes, I am
Yeah.
unstoppable. Nothing can face me, nothing can stop me. All I need to do is change the way I see myself. So
Yeah.
now I shall speak about self awareness. This is a topic which is very, very dear to my heart. So,
Mm-hmm.
what is self awareness? It's the will and the skill to be able to see yourself as you really are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people are not willing to see themselves as they are, with
They
our
are.
warts and with our scars. We only want to see ourselves as this beautiful person. But all the scars I am carrying over the years, I'm not willing to admit that.
Correct.
The journey of change, the journey of reform begins from self acceptance. You
Yes.
have to accept who you are. From there only can you move forward. Change can come only from accepting the status quo. So, self awareness is all about, as Dr. Tasha Eurich says, she is one of the leading behavioral psychologists today, and among her,
Mm-hmm.
the people she coaches are CEOs of the top 400 companies of USA. She
Mm-hmm.
says self awareness is the meta skill of the 21st century, my friends. You may have all the skills,
Mm-hmm.
legal skills, management skills, business skills, but if you are not aware of who you are, you will not be able to make a headway in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is self awareness? It's about who I am. What are my values? Yes, right. So Divya agrees with me. I also learned about loving and appreciating myself when I got into coaching, right? So if we could teach these to our students, when they are in school, I
Mm-hmm.
think that is the biggest service we could do to the educational world. And I'm really going to take this seriously and see if I can reach out to schools and principals and allow us as coaches to reach out to them. Because what happens, Divya and Jyoti, people really do not know what coaching is about. They know what counsel is.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that their child has a psychological problem and they have to go to the counselor.
Yeah.
Worst case, they'll go to the psychologist. Okay. But they don't realize that actually it's not that your child has a mental issue or a mental problem. He could have an emotional issue, right? He could be frightened. He could be unsure of himself. He could doubt his own capacity to excel.
Mm-hmm.
These I have been working with students 14 years, 18 years, going from school to college. And it's
Mm-hmm.
these doubts and fears and frustrations which stop them from excelling. Parents don't understand this. My child is not studying. It's not the child is not studying, he is studying. But somewhere in his mind, he's not able to apply himself to that level that he can if his emotional issues are addressed first.
Correct.
So, who am I? What are my values? What is my passion? What do I love? And as we say, if you do what you love, if you love what you do, the journey of life becomes a glorious experience. I taught for 36 years, mind you, and people would tell me, aren't you bored of teaching? You're going to the same class day and out, you're teaching the same subject, history, but we do not see any sign of boredom in your face because I would say every class is a new class. You know, Buddha says a very beautiful thing, Gautama Buddha. We are
Mm-hmm.
born every day. Every class is a new class. I've
Mm-hmm.
never opened a text and read out. My students are all over the world and they still tell me, ma'am, you said stories.
Mm-hmm.
History is all about stories, right?
Correct.
It's the story of mankind's evolution down the ages. So if you take history like that, yes, there are dates and the kings and battles and queens, etc. But it's the paradigm. What
Mm-hmm.
is each age about? And
Correct.
they loved my subject, even those who never took history. I have engineers, I have doctors, I have, entrepreneurs, I have so I look upon myself as a nation builder. And that is something which I loved when our Prime Minister said, the teachers are nation builders. And I remember there was a time when he even was going to create a logo for us, just as doctors put a logo on their car, there was some talk of teachers having a logo. It, of course, fizzled out, but if it could be there, it would really empower us and make us feel we are contributing in a
Mm-hmm.
very meaningful and in a very, very wonderful way to creating
Mm-hmm.
people who then become the nation builders.
Correct. So very rightly highlighted, Vijay, when we talk about self-awareness, when people you're talking about adolescence, right? But right now, if we talk about people of our age, after 30 plus, most of these corporate professionals, they are in denial. They know that they have done their BCA, they have done their MCA, they have done their MBA, and that's it. So they have all the degrees in the world which will help them get a great job. But what is the true calling? What is something that you need to know? The voice has to come from inside, not a guide or a coach or a psychiatrist or a therapist. It has to come from inside. And that's when you highlighted that asking the right question to yourself, that's where introspection comes into picture. That's what we call self-awareness. Are you aware about what are you motivated out of, what are you inspired? Everyone has a habit of watching Sadhguru or Gaur Gopal Das. Even I watch those two entities, right? But the point here is only these motivation will help you for a limited period of time, 3 or 4 days maximum. After that, you will get back to your basics, which is the same thing that you are doing since years, and you are not getting an opportunity to move out of the rat race. So we are not promoting here that you should get out of something, whatever interests you. But if you are able to understand what is you made up of, what are you made up of, rather you can bring more value to the same task that you are doing. Rather, if you are 80% productive, you can be 90% productive if you know who you truly are, and that is really important. Yeah, Vijay, I would like to emphasize on this particular aspect of it.
Yeah. So this brings me to a very, very valid point, and that is, what is your passion?
Yes.
Self awareness is about one, your values into your passion. Can you somehow inject that passion in what you do? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I also have my clients, as I've said, who are in the 30s and
Yeah.
early 40s. And what I tell them is that how can you inject passion into the work you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not necessary that you have to leave your job. What I
Yep.
say, yes, what I say is that, do you know what is the vision and the mission of your company? seldom do they know that. Now, I know about this because though people think I'm a teacher, I know nothing about ISO, but our school actually was an ISO company. And I was trained as internal quality auditor. Okay. So
Wow.
I understand these things.
Mhm.
So we had a mission and we had a vision statement. So are you aligned with that vision and mission statement of your company? Do you take ownership of that company? That's very important. I took ownership of my school.
Mhm.
I always said it is my school. And even today, Shruti, in my prayers, even today, I've left my school, it's now 4 years, but in my prayers, I still say, keep my school safe, keep my children safe, keep my teachers safe. I don't know who all are there now, but it's become a part of my inner DNA. Hmm.
Yes.
ঠাকুর আমার স্কুলকে ভালো রেখো, in Bengali we say that, just keep
Mhm.
everyone safe and healthy, sabka mangalmay ho, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when you take that kind of inner ownership of an institution,
Yes.
you serve that to your best.
Mhm.
And that is why my management extended my service for 10 years beyond retirement. Can you imagine?
Wow. That's the attitude.
So when I retired at 60, the chairperson of the Ashokal group of schools then, who was the younger aunt of Kumaramangalam Birla,
Mhm.
she told me that, who said you're going to retire? And she called someone and said, can't you make a contract for her? So I gave my professional service for 10 more years
Mhm.
to the institution till
Than
COVID.
most teachers, than most teachers, because generally you get the retirement at a certain age.
So
Mhm.
60, at 60, I did retire. I was given a fabulous farewell by my teachers.
Wow.
But at the end of the farewell, I was escorted by the Vice President Education in a car to the head office of Ashok Hall Group of Schools. She said, Mrs. Khaitan would like to meet you personally. So
Wow.
she met me personally. She gifted me a beautiful bracelet of
Mhm.
Rudraksh beads strung in gold. And she
Mhm.
said that we want you to continue. Your contract will be ready. So
Wow.
there was no vacant service. I just moved on from being a teacher on the rolls to someone extending my professional service. That's it.
Wow, that's a big respect that the school also provided you.
Yes. So you see
Yes.
where you get significance, where you get respect, where
Mhm.
you're acknowledged for what you bring to the table.
Yes.
And I think this is a very important quality of leadership. Anyone who's a position of a leader must realize that
Mhm.
you must acknowledge your team members. If you
Yes.
acknowledge them, then they will go out of the way. They'll walk that extra mile for you.
Yes.
So it's a two-way process, right?
Right. Absolutely.
If you
Mhm.
give, I will give
You-
equal measure.
Yes, and that's what Vijay. Whenever we talk to our clients, also it's a similar language. If you would have been at the designation of the owner of the organization, would you hire an employee like you? The way you are fooling around with the system, with the organization, with their value system, would you hire yourself? So the moment once you understand, if you will not hire yourself, then you are not doing justice to your job, right? And when we talk about passion, passion is not something you have to live your job, you have to leave your job and then continue. You are getting 2 days off or one day off, right? All it takes is 2 hours or 1 hours of your valuable time to be spending there and see. So for that, what I do is, Vijay, that I have been following this since last 10 years also. What I do is, you need to explore yourself for different things. Maybe basketball, maybe football, or swimming and arts, additional extracurricular activities. So at one point in time, even if you have not explored your interest so far, one point in time you will be able to understand, yeah, this is something that brings value to me, this is something that brings joy to me. Automatically, if you have one piece in your life which is bringing joy to you, it will add value to the rest areas of your life as well, and that is really important. So First of all, do not reject yourself. Do not go into self rejection mode. That is important. If you get the rights to reject yourself, who the hell in the universe will not reject you? And that's what you need to self respect, self introspect, and self love yourself. And that is only possible if you have that self awareness about your true self. Yes, Vijay, the very, very interesting stories that you shared. Maybe most of the people who are connected to us via LinkedIn is not aware about it.
I'll share another story.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. How many of you have heard of SPICMK? It's an acronym which stands for Society for the Promotion of Indian Classical Music and Culture Amongst Youth.
Wow. Mhm.
And that was my passion. So,
Great.
how did I go about it? I introduced that to my school management. I said, all the IITs, all the IIMs, they have a SPICMK chapter.
Mhm.
Can't we start it in our school? And the principal told me, are you willing to take responsibility?
Mhm.
And I said, yes. So he said, fine, I'll speak to Ma'am Khaitan. Let's see what she has to say. And I knew that Ma'am Khaitan would be all for it. So we started a chapter. Now, let me
Mhm.
tell you what SPICMK is about. It is an NGO, okay, which acts as an interface between artists of eminence and educational institutions. The
Wow.
idea is that everyone is not going to become an artist.
Correct.
We can create an audience that is sensible and sensitive
Mhm.
to aesthetics. In other words, rasika bana sakte hain hum unko. So that they have a ear for music, they have a love for dance, for
Mhm.
theater, for good cinema. In other words, they cultivate and culture a high level of aesthetics.
Mhm.
So, mind you, the kind of people I got, you'll be surprised. Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma,
Mhm.
Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia,
Mhm.
Vidushi Girja Devi, Appaji, right? So, these are the people we got. In my school, I got a group from Karnataka,
Okay.
Yakshagana. People who are there from Bangalore, they know what I'm talking about. This is a local theatrical form.
Mhm.
And when they were putting on their makeup, our girls saw that. That is leadership. They learned leadership. My students, who were my first batch of SWICMK,
Mhm.
today they are shining. I have one student in Oxford,
Wow.
two students in the film world, Priyanka Ghosh,
Mhm.
whose new Netflix is going to be released today, The Royals.
Mhm.
See, I'm going to promote your series, Priyanka. The Royals is going to be beautiful, and I have actually, you know, subscribed to Netflix only to see that. All these years, I did not have Netflix, but I'm going to see Royals from today.
So, Vijay, these are some of the students that you are aware of, you are in touch with, you are in contact with. Definitely 60 years of your life, if you already
And
have
one of them got the Filmfare Award also.
wow.
Yeah, her sister
So,
got the Filmfare Award.
great, and that's is one of the reason why you have a habit of, that's your inbound nature now of seeing beauty in anything and everything around you. So once you see yourself as beautiful, automatically you start seeing beauty in everything, and that makes you more beautiful even. So that's why you are also called queen in the industry, also in our coaching circle. So you would like to share something about that story also?
Oh, that of course is again Arfin at his naughtiest. I don't know. Every time you say a queen. So I think it's my crown of silver gray hair, which makes me appear royal and regal in his eyes. And as they say, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder.
Correct.
So it's how the other person sees you. And that is where self awareness comes in very important. Another thing, Dr. Tasha Urek says that Self awareness is about how you see yourself and how others see you. Now, if I see myself as beautiful, others
Mhm.
will see me as beautiful. If I
Yes,
see myself as confident, the world will recognize and acknowledge I'm confident.
correct.
So I tell all my students, all the students I've coached about 45 students in 4 years, right?
Mhm.
They've and I've told them you're all beautiful people.
Mhm.
You have such a lot of goodness in you. Show up with that, show up with your strength, not with your fears. Don't show up with your doubts, don't show up with your uncertainties. Show up with
Mhm.
your dreams, show up with your aspirations, and you'll see the world is there to serve you. I've seen that in my life. You've come into my life with this. I actually started Coach to Nourish to Flourish. It was a program that I had done about 6 programs on Instagram, and some of you may have seen it over there. But
Mhm.
then my my fellow coach and friend from Chandigarh, for personal issues, she had to drop out.
Mhm.
And then I was not ready to start with anyone again, you know.
Correct.
And it
White
just
sneaker.
happened that you came and you
Yes,
offered, we were just started talking. You invited me to your podcast, remember?
yes, yes.
And it was there I was telling you about this, and you said, why, Vijay, then? Let's do it. Let's
Mhm.
start Nourish to Flourish
Yes,
again. So
yes,
I said, fine. I said, on LinkedIn, I said, I know nothing about LinkedIn. It's my first time I'm coming on LinkedIn, friends. And it's
yes.
all because of Jyoti. So I owe a huge, huge.
Thank you so much, Vijay. But I always have followed what you seek is seeking you. So you have to put your focus to something. I wanted to do LinkedIn Live because I already did 44 episodes and it got stopped somewhere in the month of November or December when the second part of my LinkedIn got vanished all of a sudden. That's when it stopped. And I wanted to come online. I wanted to talk to my people. I wanted people to see what we are doing, how we are creating a change, creating an impact in the mindset of people. So one thing that I would like to highlight here, Vijay, is not there is no right time or the wrong time. So first correct time was yesterday when you did not take action. Now second best time is now. It is not
Absolutely.
about the age, it's not about the particular tenuity, and whatever you had inside of you, it took you to this level. If you want to grow further, be it the CEO or HO or HOD of any organization, or even the owner of organizations, you at sometimes we are all like Hanuman. We know we have all the capabilities within ourselves, but you need an accountability partner. You need someone to question you why and what you can do, because you yourself, if you would have realized, you would have, but you need someone support. So do not hesitate of showing up or asking for help, even to your family members, to your friends, to anyone you want to get connected to. It's not only Jyoti or Vijay, it's about anyone, but you need to reach out, you need to be vulnerable, you need to open up. Enough of sulking with your own mediocrity. That's the term that I love, because your mess is your message. That was my mess. I got stuck at a place. I thought that I will not be able to. I will not be able to. And that's when Arfin Khan, Tony Robbins, Siddharth Rajshekar, I went through a lot of courses. And that's how
Absolutely.
I was able to create that shift in my mindset. And Vijay, I'll tell you, when I was about to leave my last job, a lot of my subordinates, my team members were telling me, Jyoti, तेरे हाथ में कुछ नहीं है, पहले एक जॉब ले फिर पेपर डाल. So 4th of July was the remarkable day I remember. That is US Independence Day, and my thought process was, because I served US industry for 15 years, forget about the world, I should remember it. That is the power of having the self confidence. And 4th of July, after serving the notice period for 3 months, 3rd of October, I got released. At that point in time, people used to tell me, ज्योति तेरे हाथ में कुछ नहीं है, पहले एक जॉब ले फिर नौकरी छोड़. And I used to tell them, हाथ पॉकेट में था, अभी हाथ निकलने दे, दुनिया हाथ में होगी. And exactly the same thing happened. So your conversation with yourself is the direct conversation with universe. Universe is listening to you, and that's how the shift happens in your life. That's how you can see whatever you want to do, automatically all the resources and relevant information starts showing up in your future. So do not hesitate to reaching anyone, any of your friends, any of your family members. And the best thing, if you want to kill a dream, say it to the person who will say tere se nahi hoga, tere se nahi hoga. Because so far, if you are not surrounded by a company of avengers, which we are, and we are blessed to be surrounded by a company of avengers, we stay in a group. Every Saturday we meet with our mastermind. So if anyone is feeling low, there are others to push him, and that's how the avengers work. If you have not created your own group, this is the time, guys, you need to create your own group. So Vijay, I would like to highlight this particular aspect, and that's when we will see off for
Community.
this
Yes.
session. Yes.
I will just like to end on a uplifting note, right?
Yes.
This is something which, again, which I have learned from John Asarif, and it's a very
Mhm.
powerful inner size which I would like to share with all of you. How
Mhm.
can we use powerful language pattern to reinforce ourselves from inside? I declare that I am now. Okay, it's very powerful language pattern. And then you add whatever you want. I declare that I am now feeling resilient and able to get through anything that's in my way. I declare that now that I am feeling confident in myself and in my abilities. I declare now that I am clear and focused on what I want to achieve. I declare now that I am confident in the decisions that I make. Okay? And most important, I declare now that I'm happy with who I am.
Awesome. Yes.
So be
Thank you
happy
so
with who you are and try to be better each day.
much.
Improve upon who you were yesterday.
Yeah.
Lao Tzu, the great Chinese philosopher, says a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one small step.
Yes. So,
Start taking that one small step, my friends.
correct, Vijay. So, one particular thing I would like to highlight here, and I would like all of you who are watching this to start doing it now. So, we all talk about the power of gratitude. We say three things you are grateful for, three things that most of us have the habit, do not have the habit, forget about it. The moment you get up in the morning, one thing that you need to ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? How do I want to feel today? And automatically you will start getting answers. And once you start getting answers, that means you are setting the intention or the tone for the day. How would you like to feel? So that is important. Ask yourself every morning, how would I like to feel today? And entire, the way your monotonous life have been from so long, it will start shifting. And that is the 1 degree shift that we create in everyone's life. Yes. Having said that, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining. Who are watching now, who will be watching later. We have planned to come on every Saturday, 7 to 8 Indian Standard Time. If there is any change, definitely we will keep you all posted. Vijit, thank you for sharing such inspiring stories and motivating people to take a step further in their life, take action. Yes, you want to
Tell
say
them
something?
also about Instagram. We are coming on Instagram on Tuesday, right?
Yes, we are coming on Instagram, same time, 7 to 8 on Tuesdays. So if any one
For a
of you,
different audience, maybe, and maybe with slightly different topics also.
yes, and you all
All
know,
to do with mastering your mind.
yes. So it's all about Nourish to Flourish. So let's talk about Nourish to Flourish, your mind, body, soul, how it is interconnected, how you can work on each and every aspect of it. We are there to tell you guys, and definitely it is free. So you can just come, join, ask questions if you wish to. You want any support, you can reach out on our DMs and we will be glad to help you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vijay, and take care. See
Bye
ya.
bye. All the best to everyone.